Hello there, I'm Sarah Arciniega, and today I will be doing a 2-page scrapbook layout. In a perfect world, I would have posted this video last Friday as part of a collaboration with a bunch of my crafty friends. However, life happened and I didn't get the video done. I still wanted to share my layout though, so better late than never, I guess. So this picture of my daughter is at our church in the foyer at Christmas time, and there was a collection of trees that were decorated in white and gold. And so between the tree being green with the gold, I just thought this collection from Stampin' Up! Would be perfect. It's called the Season of Green and Gold, I believe. And I started kind of playing around with that and what I was going to do for this sketch challenge. And in the middle of all that creative process, this came to my doorstep. I had ordered this as my second round from the holiday catalog. I don't know if that happens to any of you, but I ordered my first batch of stuff, and then I saw some people creating with some things that I hadn't ordered and decided I needed it. It's called More Than Autumn, and it's full of little images that can make like apple cider and lattes and hot cocoa, and it has all the cute little icons to go with it. It has really cute script font, and so that's like I said, my brain kind of pivoted. So I thought the red and the green would be a really cute combination for the apple orchard. And so I will get my pictures printed, but in the meantime I'm going to just use these photo placeholders. And so you can see that I picked the gingham paper out of that gold and or green and gold collection. Most of it's very elegant paper, but there are a few that are more like, you know, give the country vibe. And so this is one of those, and it works really well, like I said, for the apple orchard. I did pick the green stripe, but I brought these all in to kind of show you why I picked that one. I really did want like a craft colored paper, and so I tried acorn as well as toffee, which are close to my heart colors, and I just wasn't liking those. And then I decided, well, let me put a red strip of the scarlet through there. It was actually like polka dotted. I didn't really love that still, and so then I tried a wood grain because that seemed to be fitting for an apple orchard. I still didn't like that. I think if I had gone like with a darker wood grain, it might have looked better, but I decided to stick with the green, at least for now anyway. And so then I put that back up there and removed the strips of paper, and then I started playing just on some paper with the cute script font. There's all the different words, and so I took apple and season, and then there's a cute little apple, and you can see that I just kind of experimented with that going around the circle. And so I went to go glue all of this down, and while I went to glue it down so I could stamp around the circle, I decided that green was kind of blah. My first thought was to, use a background stamp and add some texture that way, but then I remembered that the green and gold collection had this textured paper that had the variations of green, and I thought that's perfect. It's just the right amount of texture and interest instead of just the plain green paper. I probably was holding off on it because there's this beautiful gold side on the other side, but I decided, you know what, it's only 2 inches of the paper. I can go ahead and give that up. So I got that all glued down so I could stamp around my circle. What I did is I put apple on one block, season on one block, and then I actually used the die to cut out an apple, and I'm using that as my spacer because I will actually stamp the apples on a different sheet of paper and then die cut them out just so that they have a little more dimension. But I'm using just you probably can't even see it in the video, but there's a teeny apple and I'm putting that in between the word season and apple just to get my spacing right. And I get that all the way around the edge. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for me. And then I put the little apples that I had cut out, and then I colored them with my tri-blend markers, and I actually am pretty pleased with how that turned out. So now I'm ready to kind of focus on the right hand page. The sketch calls for a 4x6 horizontal picture and then 2 3x4 pictures. So I'm going to use the toffee paper in the background for my mats, and then over here it calls for 3 circles. I used the Spotlight on Nature dies, and it has a collection of really cute circles that have details along the outside, and this one is almost like an eyelet lace. It's really cute. I just felt it was there again fitting for an apple orchard. And so I went ahead and did those, and then later on I'm going to go back in and do a second white circle. But before I do that, I decided to play with some embellishments. So I cut out and colored and stamped 2 different mugs. I just didn't know which way I was going to like it. So the first one on the left, I stamped that on French vanilla, which is the base color of my layout. And so I stamped that, and then I colored it in just like a light gray with my tri-blend markers. And then I stamped the same cup on the green paper and used the lines to cut out the little band that goes around the cup. And then the one on the right I stamped on toffee paper, and then I actually just freehanded the green strip on that one. You probably can't tell a difference in the video, but I actually did prefer, like, when I stamped it and used the lines to cut, it looked a little better. But I'm going to put a little apple here on the front to show that this is cider. And I'm still not sure which one I like. And so I'm going to put one down here and put one up there. I'm not going to leave them like that, of course, but they're just, kind of there to be tested out. And so then I did the same thing with the donuts. I did one on French vanilla and then colored it in with tri-blends, and did another one with the toffee paper, and then went along the outside with a brown tri-blend marker. And that's the one I chose to use. I felt like it looked more like a apple cider donut. So the dies have dies that cut out the word apple season, just like the stamp over on the left page. It's slightly larger, but I thought that was cool that I could carry that element over to the right page. I did try it there again in a few colors. Tried the toffee, and then I tried white. That's before I knew I was going to put some white circles over here. And so I'm just kind of, like I said, testing everything out. This idea, it's funny how you see something and then like weeks later an idea will surface from what you saw. But I was watching a YouTube video from Heidi Collins. She makes some really cute cards, but she used this stamp set and turned the little piece that goes into like on a wagon, she turned it into a crate. And a lot of you probably have some really cute crate type stamps. I actually don't have anything like that in my collection yet though, so this was a perfect substitute. And so I went ahead and there again, just on scratch paper, kind of stamped it out to see what it would look like, and put the apples real close, and I'm like, yeah, I think that will work. And so the little crate is real fun. It actually has some like wood grain marks in it. I probably should have gone over it with a blending brush retrospectively, but like I said, it's real cute. I did play around with just the idea of putting individual apples in there, but I did actually like just the whole paper. And it would have been a lot of die cutting had I done the individual apples. So here I have my journaling. I'm taking the next size in of the Spotlight on Nature die. The circle will have dashes around it, and so the eyelet lace and the dashes, I just think it's such a cute combination. But here I'm doing some washi tape to run it through my die cutting machine, and I was real close on the text, but it all fit, so that was good. I actually cut out the script font again in green and decided that's what I wanted to use. And so there I have the apple season, bringing in the gray cup with the toffee donut. And I love the way that that looks, the little title. I think it turned out really cute. So my next step will be to actually create the apple barrel. And like I said before, that had just been on type paper just to kind of test it out. And so now I'm doing it on French vanilla cardstock. And what I did is I just used the little apple stamp and turned it and twisted it and did it like every way and put them really close together. I know that realistically there would have been like parts of apples showing and things like that, but I didn't want to sit there and mask the small stamp. And I feel like the way I did it, it gives the vibe of, a good barrel, or not barrel, but Creative Apples. And so I actually used Scarlet ink. I did use my alcohol markers, which typically you don't want to do that because it runs the ink. The alcohol markers will run the ink, but I didn't actually have an issue with it. And I didn't want to use the black, like the Intense Black or the Memento ink, just because I just felt like it would be like more stark. And so, like I said, it worked. I don't know if it's just because it was such a small stamp or what, but I go ahead and get my tri-blend marker out again. I used the darkest shade as well as the medium. Some apples I did in the dark, and then I did some on the medium, just so there was some variety, because I figured that's how they would be in real life. So I'm going to do all the leaves first, I felt like the scarlet, it actually was dark enough, and it kind of has some brown tones that I actually didn't do anything with the stems. But I speed this part of the video up pretty fast, and I don't actually take footage of this whole process because it did take a little while to do that. But here I have them all colored, and I don't worry about the bottom ones as much, just because that's just really to give the illusion that it's, you know, full, and most of that's going to be covered by the crate. So I'm going to put the finished product down underneath my journaling on that bottom circle. And then I decide at some point to kind of test out, what if I add a border around these pages? And so I just stick you know, a piece of scarlet paper back there, and I do actually like that. And because I already had the left side taped down, I just, you know, went ahead and cut through the whole thing. Luckily, nothing ripped, and I didn't have anything glued down on the right side yet, so that was a pretty easy fix. But I didn't feel like I was losing any space, and I liked that it framed it all in. So this next part, there was some weird space, you know, underneath the picture, and so I found this adorable die cut from the iconic Imagery dies, and it was just perfect to put like the name and the place and the date. And even though I had some of that in the journaling, but it was just like concise. And here are my pictures. I didn't realize that the picture for my left page was actually vertical, and so I did have to kind of adapt that a little bit. But I hope you enjoyed this. I'd love for you to subscribe and become a member of this crafting community. And I appreciate all your comments. I would love for you to drop one down below. I also provide links down below if you're interested in any of these products. It always feels good when you get another memory documented and a page done. So thanks for joining me today. Thanks for your support, and I hope you have a great day. And here are some YouTube videos that you might enjoy watching.